Drive through the rolling plains of Texas, the cornfields of Iowa, or the green stretches of Wisconsin, and you might be surprised to learn that some of this farmland, once the symbol of American independence, is now owned by Chinese investors. In fact, Chinese entities collectively own hundreds of thousands of acres across the United States. This fact has sparked a national debate in America. For some, it's simply globalization at work, just another case of capital moving across borders. But for others, it raises a sharp question. Is China buying farmland just for business? Or is there something more strategic at play? In an era where geopolitics and economics collide, the stakes of this debate feel much higher. As one U.S. senator put it bluntly, when Chinese companies buy land next to our military bases, we should be asking why. To understand why Chinese investors target farmland, we need to look at the Chinese Communist Party's broader worldview. Beijing has never hidden its ambition to secure China's rise not only as an economic powerhouse, but also as a global political and military force. Modern conflicts have offered lessons. In Ukraine, drones and prepositioned supplies reshaped battlefield tactics. In the Middle East, Iranian strikes showed how assets hidden in plain sight could shift the balance of power. Chinese strategists study these conflicts closely. Owning farmland abroad may seem innocent, but in a crisis, such land could provide valuable behind enemy lines advantages. Land ownership means access. Access means options. And options are what strategists crave. As one Western analyst warned, real estate isn't just dirt, it's a doorway. At first glance, farmland is about crops, tractors, and weather. But for national security thinkers, it's about something more: location, cover, and access. Some Chinese acquisitions have raised eyebrows precisely because of where they are located, near critical U.S. military installations. In 2021, a Chinese-linked company sought to buy land in North Dakota, just down the road from a U.S. Air Force base that houses sensitive drone technology. The deal triggered bipartisan alarm. The concern is not that Chinese companies will suddenly plant flags. The fear is dual use, that agricultural investments could also serve intelligence or surveillance purposes. Land offers places to install sensors, hide equipment, or simply observe patterns. As one American farmer told a local newspaper, "It's not the soybeans that scare me, it's the satellites that might come with them." Of course, China doesn't frame it this way. Officially, the argument is simple: food security. With 1.4 billion mouths to feed, China has long worried about securing stable food supplies. Domestic farmland is shrinking due to urbanization and environmental pressures. Overseas land acquisitions offer insurance. Beijing also presents these deals as pure investment, no different from Chinese companies buying ports in Europe, mines in Africa, or tech firms in Silicon Valley. It's globalization, the story goes, not geopolitics. And indeed, food supply matters deeply. In 2013, China's largest pork producer, WH Group, acquired Smithfield Foods, America's biggest pork company. It was billed as an effort to ensure Chinese tables had a steady meat supply. Many Americans accepted that logic until the narrative shifted toward national security. An American economist put it this way: every Chinese purchase has two faces, one of business and one of strategy. Across America, lawmakers are now wrestling with what to do. Some states have already introduced bills restricting foreign ownership of farmland near sensitive sites. In Wisconsin, testimony in 2024 included warnings that Chinese acquisitions could, quote, compromise rural security, end quote. At the federal level, the Pentagon and the FBI have voiced concerns about espionage potential. surveillance disguised as agriculture may sound like a Hollywood script, but in Washington it's treated as a real risk. Quote, "You don't need to fire a shot to weaken an enemy," one former U.S. defense official told Congress. "You can do it by owning what they eat and standing next to what they protect," end quote. Critics argue that Chinese farmland purchases are just one piece of a much larger puzzle. They point to patterns: intellectual property theft from research labs, infiltration in American universities, cyber intrusions into supply chains, and attempts to buy land near critical infrastructure like power plants or telecommunications hubs. From this perspective, farmland isn't just about corn or wheat. It's about the CCP's holistic strategy to weave influence into the fabric of America. As one U.S. think tank report claimed, quote, "The battlefield of the 21st century is not only ships and missiles, it is ports, patents, and property deeds," end quote. So where does this leave the United States? The country faces a stark dilemma: remain open to foreign investment or draw sharp lines in the sand when that investment comes from a rival power. Economic openness has always been America's brand. But national security worries are now redefining that openness. Already, proposals in Congress aim to ban or tightly regulate Chinese land purchases, especially near sensitive military zones. The debate cuts to the heart of how America views its relationship with China. Is it commerce, competition, or confrontation? At its core, this debate is not about soybeans or pork, it's about trust, and whether the United States can believe that China's farmland acquisitions are purely economic. For Beijing, the purchases may be framed as smart business moves, part of food security and global investment. But for Washington, they stir memories of espionage, fears of sabotage, and the uncomfortable image of a strategic rival buying land next to its air bases. The tension between economic openness and national security has never been sharper. As one American commentator recently wrote, "The real question is not whether China can buy U.S. farmland, it's how much of America's backyard China should own."